With the news of Elon Musk buying Twitter, I like to put together a video for those that are working at Twitter or are looking to join Twitter to give them an insight into what to expect as the acquisition finalizes. It's no secret that the culture at the company is going to change, and fortunately I had the chance to work at Tesla for over 4 years in various leadership roles. And now that you're working at one of the most popular companies on planet Earth, I like to take those lessons onto you so you can manage the transition as best as you can. Number 1, try your best to leave your ego at the door. As human beings, it's very hard for us to not feel pride or some sense of connection to the thing we're building. But one of the big things that I learned at Tesla is that your work will get scrutinized and it will be questioned quite a bit. Not because you're necessarily doing a bad job, but it's because the culture of those companies are always focused on finding the best possible answer. What I found is that this is the optimal process to find the best possible solution. And as long as you look at it that way, you should be very successful in dealing with that. If you are already somebody who's very comfortable in those situations, you're going to do really well under this new culture. But if you're not, that's going to be one of the most important things to get comfortable with if you want to be successful under that new culture. Just remember, it's not a reflection of your talent or your abilities. It's ultimately the best way to get the best possible answer. Number 2, if physics allow it, it's a possible outcome. You're going to be in situations where you're going to have requests that seem very outlandish or unrealistic in their scope or timelines. And I faced this so many times at Tesla. But what you'll find as you start working on those things is that those outlandish requests or those unrealistic requests actually have merit. And there's a way to get them done. Maybe not tomorrow, maybe not next week, but over time you can get there. And so that process is really just about getting things that are important started. And if you get those things started, you'll gain momentum and you'll build momentum with your team to try and get to the end goal of that specific project, request, or whatever it may be. Ultimately, this will become a superpower because then you'll find that nothing is impossible. As long as physics allows it, it's not impossible. It's just a matter of how many steps you have to string together to get to that point. Number 3, you're going to be very uncomfortable. You're going to be thrown into situations that you're not familiar with. You're going to be asked to do things that you've never done before. You're going to be working on things that you're going to be like, how in the world can they trust me with this? But it's all part of the culture. In my experience, this sort of environment allowed the best talent to come forward. And those that felt comfortable feeling uncomfortable had the best success. What I like to say is if you feel discomfort or you feel very uncomfortable in a specific area that you're working on, or if you're unsure about your own abilities, all that means is that you are learning something. You're learning something very important that previously you didn't know. That's arguably one of my biggest lessons I took away from that company. Being comfortable while feeling uncomfortable was incredibly important, and it really does put you in the right mindset to tackle even the hardest problems. Number 4, make sure you surround yourself with people that have a proven track record of getting stuff done. It's no secret that most companies have a group of people that have become very powerful because of how good they present things, or because they use fancy language, or they know how to play the politics game. From my experience, Tesla was very good at squashing this behavior. Every time I met someone that fit that description, wasn't at the company too much further down the road. And so if you really want to become an impact player at the company, make sure you surround yourself with people that actually get stuff done. They don't just talk about things to do or things they're going to perform, or they're trying to make deals behind people's backs to somehow get themselves up the ranks. If they're actually getting stuff done and they're being recognized for getting that stuff done, those are the people you want to surround yourself with, because those are the people you're going to learn the most from. And ultimately, that will become your network of problem solvers and builders. That group is going to be able to get together and achieve things that seemed impossible or seemed very difficult. That will become your team. And if Twitter is able to execute this culture properly, then your team will be the entire company and it will feel amazing. And lastly, if you're someone that can prove themselves to be of high value to the company, or somebody that's able to build tools or do things that make their coworkers' lives easier, you're going to be recognized and you're going to be compensated very handsomely for that work. I don't know if this is the case at Twitter right now, but a lot of companies are not very good at recognizing valuable employees or employees that really care. From my experience, Tesla did a very good job at this. And so if you keep this in mind, it's going to maximize your chances to achieve your own personal goals, either from a career perspective or from a monetary perspective. perspective. Tesla was excellent at aligning a person's specific goals to the company's goals. And if Twitter is able to execute this as well, which by all means it should, then you'll find a very, very similar type of culture. Focus on bringing value to the company and making your team's lives easier. You will be rewarded. Now, here's the crazy thing. You're now working at one of the most important companies in the world. The work your company and you are going to do is going to help further democracy, not just for the United States, but for a lot of countries in the world. It will continue to become a bigger and bigger platform for the brightest minds to share ideas and to solve problems. It could even become a platform down the road that humans use for a direct democracy, where all of us can get together and vote on issues or policies or laws as people, as humanity, and Twitter could be that platform. And knowing how Tesla's culture was, no dream was too big to achieve. No problem was too hard to solve. And now that Elon owns Twitter, knowing his leadership style, Twitter will be no different. And now you have the keys to the future of human civilization. I hope this video was helpful. Thank you so much for watching.